You're watching The Last Stand with Brian Custer.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Brian Custer from The Last Stand. You know, on October 9th, we had a very long, extensive interview with one time, Keith Thurman. And then the next day, on the 10th of October, we find out Sebastian Fundora injures his hand sparring and the fight had been postponed. Well, the interview was really good that we felt compelled that we bring it to you because this, let's be honest, was the first time in 6 years that Keith Thurman really was healthy going into a fight. And I get it. He's only fought twice in 6 years. But this time he was healthy. And now on basically 2-3 weeks before a major fight for him, he becomes the hard luck loser and the subject of a postponement of the fight because of his opponent. I'm telling you, Thurman looked great. He always talks his talk. And we felt that it was imperative that you get the opportunity to hear from Keith Thurman. The fight will go on, but now won't take place until January. But here's Keith Thurman on fighting Sebastian Fundora and his thoughts on his career, his injuries, and his future in the sport of boxing.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. We are back. I'm Brian Custer, and joining me is the former unified welterweight champion of the world, now one of the top contenders at 154 pounds, known as one time Keith Thurman. My man. You showing off, bro. Why you got your shirt off, bro? You showing off now.
We out here in Florida, baby. It's hot. I need to cool down, man. That's all it is.
You know, the one thing I love about you, Keith, is because you obviously you have a way with words, but you mean what you say. And that's what I love about Keith Thurman. And listen, when Keith Thurman is healthy, he is great for the sport and one of the best fighters to do it. But, you know, he's like a lightning rod because then you got these other people go, oh, he just talks too much. That's all he does is talk, and he's always injured. So I'll ask you the question that people always say. Is Keith Thurman still an elite fighter?
I mean, I've never not been, man. You know, I feel like fine wine, baby. I'm just keep getting better with age. You know, there's going to be some dynamics. You know, we saw it in Floyd's career. It's the way that you move as you shift through the aging process, man. But I think I still got moves. I got traps that I can set, and I still got the bombs to be dropping, baby. So, you know, we're coming to make a statement, coming to represent the Thurman name, the Thurman legacy, to be at the top of the sport that I love. And, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's boxing. May the best man win, period. You know, but I'm coming to do me.
Do you believe that Jarvis was a guy who prepared you for this fight because of what you're going to be facing with Fundora, lefty, tall? Was this the type of opponent that prepared you for this kind of test?
Hey, I was over there. I don't know how much of the hype you saw, baby, but I was in his chest. I told that boy, you an appetizer. You know? I was just getting started. I told you there was a 3-fight deal. 2 fights were supposed to be in Australia. Once I made that knockout, Tim Zoo's promotion company, they said, well, we think maybe Fundora is less lively. But they were wrong. They're wrong about a lot of things, you know. And that's the problem when you live on an island, you're not exposed to the real big bad world of boxing, baby. But this is where I belong, man. This is where I belong. And, you know, there's nothing like a Thurman test. You know, let's test this young man with Keith Thurman. And let's test Keith Thurman with this young man. It's a win-win, people. It's a win-win. Come on.
What would it mean to you to be world champion again and to do it at another weight division?
I mean, to do it at another weight division, to do it on this leg of my career, it just proves that, you know, that Thurman is just one of the greatest of this era, man, and that the legacy is real. I always felt like there was more that I could do. I mean, I'm trying to tell y'all, there's politics that don't make no sense in boxing. I schooled, Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios is champion of the world. Why was Keith Thurman not given the fight to be champion of the world at 147 again? What happened there? I feel like the politics got me out of the division anyways. But let's not hate the game. Let's not hate the players. If you love it, you're gonna participate in it. And you see your man Thurman is still here, man. Move me up. Move me up. I'm good. I'm older now. Let's drop less weight, and let's make a run for it, man. Just like all the greats did. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, De La Hoya, just everybody, man. There's a stage in the fighter's career where they establish themselves in one division and eventually they got to move up to the next one, man. So, I think I still got fights in me. I'm really happy. Y'all want to talk about statistics? This is the first time since 2019 that Keith Thurman has fight twice in 1 year. I was trying to fight 3 times. I was trying to make up for lost times, and I was trying to add some checks in the bank account, but it didn't go like that, So I got to take the toughest fight, the biggest challenge, just to get some respect in the game and to get, a decent payday for me and my family. It is what it is. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be performing at the MGM Grand and, being on Prime Video, baby. It's going to be a fun event, man. Let's see what this kid's all about.
I know the nominations are out for the class of 2026 in the Hall of Fame. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about the Hall of Fame? And does Keith Thurman want to be a Hall of Fame?
It's done. I'm already in the Hall of Fame. Like for real, I'm already in there. I'm not in there because you have to get inaugurated, right? There's like a fancy word that I don't know how to spell, right? You gotta be like inaugurated up in it and the whole thing. But that happens after you retire. But if you go to the venue, I already donated my outfit from when I unified versus Danny Swift Garcia, and they have it in a casing. Keith Thurman's welterweight unification. Danny was undefeated WBC. I was undefeated WBA. Boom. And I got that victory, and it's already sitting in the Hall of Fame. I've been in the Hall of Fame, people. It's life. It's life. I'm very grateful to live this life that I lived. And for me, it's had a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns. But like I said, we're still here, man. Look what we're doing, baby. We signed up for the bad man. We're going up against the bad man. They say he's a tall task. I said the living, breathing mountain of a man Fundora is Mount Everest himself, people. Come on. David versus Goliath, October 25th, in action. Biblical prophecy. It's going down.
Okay, let me ask you a few things here before I let you get out of here about the sport. Do you like the way the sport is going right now? Most of the fights now on obviously the streaming platforms. You've got Turkey now in the sport, who's obviously paying a lot of money for different fights. And then you've got the Zuffa boxing with Turkey and Dana White. But, obviously they're going to have their own belt. They're not even going to recognize the other belts. They're going to have their own belts and just.
Dana White wants to dictate everything. Oh, surprise. Oh, what a surprise. I mean, like you're saying, man, I think boxing has always been one of those very, very interesting sports where we're not like the NFL, NBA, NHL, FIFA, whatever. We're just not, we are a worldwide sport. Not all the sports, football being one of the biggest sports in America, but it's not the biggest sport worldwide. Everybody else is playing rugby. They're playing rugby, people. I've seen it. They playing rugby. All right. So it's interesting. It really is. But that's boxing for you, man. There's always a shift. There's always some kind of dynamics. What I love about what's happening in boxing right now is that there's continual interest. There's continual interest. There's shifts in platforms. And really, we don't know what's next. And that's life, man. We don't know what tomorrow brings, man. We like to plan things out. Oh, I got this vacation. I'm going to go see my aunties and my grandma in June and July. We like to plan ahead. But the truth is, we don't know what tomorrow brings, man. And boxing is one of those sports that is constantly reminding people, you don't know ish about boxing, baby. And let's just if you enjoy it, sit back and watch the shows, watch what manifests, and it's in my prayers that everything that happens is for the betterment of the sport. For the betterment of the fighters and for their careers. And really, I'll be out of the game in a few years. So really, I hope it's all for the betterment of the next generation. I think that's what's very important, is that we create a platform that's not just lucrative for those who are at the top today, but for the names that are to come tomorrow. And that's how I feel emotionally.
What do you think about Jake Paul and Tank fighting in November in that exhibition fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Jake Paul extravaganza, baby. It doesn't matter who he wants to fight. People, they can't help but to get sucked in to the Paul show. So he's a master influencer. He's got a lot of pull in the world, and it's just showing you that what today is. I mean, some of the most successful fighters, Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia, and I think they're the new exemplars of what big money boxing looks like. And it's build the social media platform, be an influencer, and if you got the balls to get in the ring, make some good fights, and let your fans enjoy the show, win, lose, or draw. You're gonna have support, and and make money and doing something that you love. Jake Paul, he loves this, man. You got to respect that. You got to respect that he actually trains hard. He loves this. He's been enjoying it. He's been trying to get better each and every year. He's picked some decent, interesting fights, a lot of really over the hill vets and different things like that. And now he's going in there with a young dog. It's like the modern day Floyd. His brother fought Floyd. He's not trying to fight Floyd. He's going after Tank, man, a hot name in the sport. And Tank is making that money bag. It is what it is, man. That's what I'm saying, man. You don't know what tomorrow brings, man. I got a funny joke. I say Jake Paul has the opportunity to be the White Don King in boxing, people. Okay, this boy, when he's done fighting, he's still already got his hands deep in promoting. Yeah. He's got the money, the backing. He can do what Dana White's doing. He can do whatever he wants to do, whatever he sets his mind to it. And if you don't believe it, then you're a fool, because he's already accomplished things that nobody thought that he could accomplish. Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of old heads in the sport. He's a young guy getting involved, growing female boxing as well. He's doing a lot of big things, great things for the sport of boxing. So, hey, man, let's go, Jake. White Don King. Wave the flag. I'm there, baby. I'm there. I see you, pimp. You need a flag waiver? Come on, man. I'll help promote the shows, baby, because that's all you need. He's got the platform. He needs a little bit more experience in the game, but he knows how to work some contracts. He got the networks behind him. And it's interesting to see what he's going to do when he's done and what opens up for like I said, continuously, the next generation. But I think it's going to take somebody like a Jake Paul who has the love and the admiration and a little bit of the knowledge and the financial backing, who can probably maybe open up doors for the next talented kids, man. So there's a lot of I don't knows out there, man. And I just find it interesting. I keep watching it day by day, play by play, baby. Like it's football every day of the year, baby. Play by play, day by day.
One more question then, and we get off that subject. What do you think about the backlash that Tank is getting? Because people say, well, you're in the prime of your career. You should be having legacy fights against Devin Haney's, the Teofimo Lopez, all of these so-called four kings, and yet you go off and you go fight Jake Paul. I mean, look, you get guaranteed $40 million at least. I don't know. And so there's some thinking of, well, are you about legacy or are you just about the bag?
It's very hard. It's very hard, We're not in his shoes, The sport, it'll take, It's a tough call, man. I get it. I get the people, and I understand Tank's position, and this is why I tell you, you don't pick fights. You fans do not control boxing. You never have, and you never will. There's just every once in a while you get the fight that you want, and then you're very happy. Every time you don't get the fight that you want, this and that, you know, it's you, but you don't control boxing, you know. It's a whole industry, it's a whole entertainment side, and you know, this is an entertainment thing. If he wants to continue to fight afterwards, that's on him, you know. And everybody that you just mentioned, they can fight each other.
Yeah.
Where's Haney and Teofimo Lopez? Where's that fight?
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of fights to be had. You know, so I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of great matchups that can always be made, and a lot of times they're not made for political reasons. It's a broad word, but you know, let's just take it day by day, play by play, people. And hopefully every year, I remember back when I was like a cinema person, you know, and I remember when like the movie Avatar came out. I remember when the movie Inception came out, right? You know, because Inception was dope. It reminded me of like the Matrix and different things. It hit on a different level. And, you know, me with the psychology and stuff, I love all that dream stuff, Carl Jung, and I just love that dream philosophy. So that movie was really dope. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, and like, I was like, yeah, man, that's a great year. Certain years in cinema are just great years. They drop this film, this action film, you know, something sci-fi, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's just a great year. Other years, there's like duds, ain't nothing but like some little comedy from like Kevin Hart, like little Kevin Hart movies all the time or something, you know, another Dwayne movie, The Rock and everything, and whatever, you know, they're all right, you know, but they don't have the depth. They're not like the Harry Potter series, the mystical, and just good CG, good everything, you know. So to me, I look at boxing like that. Each and every year, we don't know what kind of fights we're going to get, you know. We got some good fights this year, people. We got some good fights. I'm trying to kick it off. We still got a few more good fights before the year's over. And then we got 2026, man. So, you know, that's the new motto for boxing, baby. Day by day, play by play. Let's go. You know,
right,
just keep watching.
A couple more questions here for you. Since you talked about great fights, we got Canelo, we got Crawford. And obviously you had in the past, you had a nice back and forth with Crawford. Do you think, and I'm talking about not just you, I'm talking about all of the 147 pounders who were under the PBC banner, maybe underestimated Crawford because you hadn't faced him, and he was screaming for these fights, but wasn't getting them because of Top Rank, especially when you look at what he did in the fight against Errol and then follows that up with the fight against Canelo. Do you think you guys underestimated that, Bud Crawford is that dude?
Nah, I mean, you really want me to talk about it, B?
Sure.
I mean, I don't. The thing is, first off, Keith Thurman never underestimated Crawford, and Crawford never underestimated Keith Thurman. And there's a really good reason why. And that's because we grew up together. You know, we were at the amateurs together. We were in the Olympic trials together. Okay. He was an Olympic alternate. I was an Olympic alternate. We both fell short in the finals of representing the USA for the 08 China Games. Okay. So, you know, I've been known, you know, Crawford, he's been through everybody in the amateurs the way that I've been through everybody in the toughest fights, you know. But unfortunately, you know, we did not get to see the Thurman, Spence, Crawford showdown. Okay. And I mean, taking myself, like, I can't take myself physically out the picture because I'm talking about myself, but taking my emotions out of it, let's just go back to that moment of time. All right. Before I lost to Pacquiao in 2019, there were 3 undefeated champions: Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, and Bud Crawford. And to get these 2 fighters to a unification bout without one of them facing Thurman, whether it's Crawford or Spence, it felt, not me personally, analytically, it felt like a piece of the puzzle was missing. Just a small piece of the puzzle. Just so happens I'm the piece of the puzzle, people. But anyways, just a small piece of the puzzle. And that's what, that's when you said the 5 kings, when there was Danny, Thurman, Sean, Spence, Crawford, Kell Brook, like we were packed, people. We were packed. Spence took care of Brook. I took care of Danny. I took care of Sean, And then Pacquiao got in the mix. He bested me. And then Ugas bested him. And then you guys are watching Ugas versus Spence instead of Thurman versus Spence. Come on, man. What would have been a bigger fight in that moment? Thurman versus Spence. But Ugas had the belt. Spence got the belt, got to unify, then got, I signed my contract to fight him. So he must have not have received his end of the contract, and he wiggled out of what PBC was trying to put together. And he went off and made the big unification bout and took the big L. He took the big L. To me on that night, it didn't look like a unified champion was in the ring. I don't know. They say his retina problem, this and that. Maybe things aren't the same. It's very unfortunate. I know what it means to go through some unfortunate things in the sport of boxing, people. So, no disrespect to Crawford, but the champion he fought and the accolades that he won, I mean, I just think that there's still a tougher fight out there, even at that time, at 147. And then, Canelo, he had a terrific performance. Canelo never looked like he got out of third gear, people. I mean, I'm talking about zoom, zoom. He never got out of third gear for 12 rounds, and I think that's the dilemma of being overpaid, I mean, hey, hold on. I made the money. I just had tried, he's a good fighter. What can I say? He's a good fighter, I'll see you later in my helicopter, So, at the end of the day, man, unfortunately, I just don't think we got the best out of these fights. They're great fights. And to stop bashing it, don't misunderstand me. Crawford looked great. Crawford did his job. I posted on my IG. His jab was phenomenal. His defense was phenomenal. His movement, his pivot, he brought everything to the table. I'm saying that to make great fights, it takes 2 great fighters, not 1 great fighter. Okay? And these matchups that sound like 2 great fighters, we only see 1 great fighter show up. And I'm not saying like, hey, if Canelo can still lose, but get out of third gear, Holmes. Like, get out of third gear. There's pressure. There's a lot. You're losing. Act like you want to win. Act like you want to knock out. Act like you want to do something. Just get in. Do a little head movement. And 1, 2 big swings, and then turn your head again and get out, man. Like, but give us a little bit more. And I don't know. Because when I sit back, I end up being like one of you. At the end of the day, when I'm watching, I'm a spectator. And as a champion, I see things that you guys might not see. And I don't like when I don't see the matchup living up to what I think it should be, man. Because I try to give fights my best. I've always said I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. I've been beaten 1 time. Who's gonna beat Thurman 2 times? I'm not. It is what it is. But when I step in the ring, I like to make myself felt, my presence. I like to make a statement. Even if I'm gonna lose, you're gonna know that you were in there with a real champion. And I just feel like those fights didn't deliver to that degree, unfortunately for us spectators. But Crawford's been on a roll. He has tremendous IQ. I've known about him my whole life, man, and I'm happy to see the success of my brethren, man. When all the young fighters, man, that I grew up with, from Gary Russell Jr., Deontay Wilder, Danny Jacobs, you know, Mikey Garcia. Like I grew up with all these fighters, people. I grew up with all of them, you know. So I'm happy to see their success and to see somebody like Crawford do the big things that he's been doing, man. I just salute him, and you know, he deserves that pound for pound right now. He deserves it all. He deserves it. He's waited a long time. He's had a lot of fights. He was not given the greatest opposition. His resume is still not the deepest. You know, certain points that Canelo was bringing up, it was true. But by defeating Canelo, it's almost like you defeated everybody Canelo ever defeated, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so with that being said, you know, my man deserves the #1 pound for pound, and he deserves all that, and he should be proud of himself. His family should be proud of him. Nebraska, Omaha, all that, you know. So it's good for boxing.
So you said you talked about you got big fights left in you. You look at 154. I mean, now you're there. Spence is there. Spence said he's going to come back next year. Jamel Charlo, I guess, got on IG and said he wants nothing but big fights, had different pictures of people. Dron Ennis is there. Virgil Ortiz. What would you if you become world champion, what would be the next big fight for Keith One-Time Thurman?
It's hard to say, you know. It's hard to say because I really don't know where I didn't see this contract coming, you know. Of course, we could say, you know, Virgil Ortiz is liable, right? Because they were offering me Virgil Ortiz right before they were offering me Fundora. They never sent me the Virgil contract. Otherwise, it would have got signed first. They didn't send it, and they gave me options, and I went for the champion. So, you know, Virgil Ortiz is live. He's got to fight Erison Lubin, you know. So as long as he doesn't get defeated by Lubin, you know, there's some fights that could be made. And then, you know, there's some big fights like Thurman versus Charlo. Of course, you know, we were supposed to have Thurman versus Spence a long time ago. We could do the throwback. I don't even know. I love being in shape right now. I'm going to do my best because of this age. No matter what happens, win, lose, or draw, I'm going right back to the drawing board. I got to maintain fitness. If I really want to push out 3 more years, I have to maintain fitness for the rest of my career now. It's a must. It's in demand. And who knows, man? I might have a contract happen like Thurman. If I get the winner of Rolly and Pacquiao, shoot, you know, like I just want great fights, man. So there's a part of me that almost misses 147. You know, there's some big names down there as well. Some nice young names and big names happening. So I really don't know what's gonna happen. Boots Ennis, but he's been saying he wants tune-ups, and I don't know what his team is really planning on doing. I've never seen the contract in my life for Boots Ennis yet. So, you know, we'll see. But hey, Thurman versus Crawford, I still think he wants to come back down. I still think that's something for us, man. We should run it. Step in one time with the one time, baby. You know, I mean, I think it would be enticing if I walk away with the world title. I think I can entice Bud a little bit. I don't know what entices him these days, but I feel like maybe, just maybe, the green belt might entice him just a little bit, you know. But yeah, man, there's just a lot of fights. It's very interesting because 54 is not my division, and I just don't know what's going to be on the table for the starting point of 2026, man. But I'm happy to make good, fun fights and do what I do, man, which is entertain, talk that talk, make boxing fun, make it likable, bring my knowledge to the table, bring my analytical breakdowns to the table, man, and just hype up the fights. You know, there's a lot of great fights that can be made. So, hey, show me the contract, baby.
Well,
Send the contract.
Send the contract.
Send the contract. If Thurman wins, if Thurman loses, if Thurman gets a draw, Thurman's not going nowhere, people. Just send the contract. Huh? 147 to 154. I'm here, knocking on the door. Let's go.
I like it. We'll wrap it up with this. Because you talk, tell us what is going to happen then on October 25th, because Fundora has been dry. Obviously, he's been knocked out before, and he's got that one loss. Do you see this as a stoppage, or do you see this as a Thurman masterclass where it goes all 12?
You know, we're going to have to see, you know, what frustrates him. What's it like being on the edge of his jab? Of course, I got big sparring partners. They're jabbing, but it's not Fundora's jab,
right?
You know, and Fundora, he can box a few different ways. He's learning how to box on the outside. He's always boxed on the inside. You know, he made the statement that he's going to, you know, he wants to, I think he's feeling himself with that Zoo knockdown early on. You know, you and me were there. We were watching it together. You know what I'm saying? I think he's feeling himself from that moment. And he's going back to the MGM Grand, and it's our main event. But I can feel that he might feel like this is his moment, you know. And it is what it is, you know. I think I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready for the fire. I'm ready for the smoke, and I'm ready for him to be cautious and you know, work on the edge of his jab and see if they can bank some early rounds with easy tactics, easy setups, and then, you know, eventually pick up the pace. So I'm really just ready for everything, but I'm looking for those holes. I'm looking for those mistakes that he makes, and I just want to stuff it, man. Stuff crust, baby. I want to stuff it. Boom, Swiss cheese. Boom, boom. It's one time for a reason, not a short season, baby. I gotta get locked in. You know, we got days away, days and days. We're just days away, people. We're not weeks and weeks and months. We are just days away. So I got to get locked in right here, get focused. But, you know, from the body to the head, man, I've heard a lot of people throughout my career, and everything in my spirit says I can crack a rib. You know, them ribs, you know, I ain't been eating no ribs lately, baby. You know, you know, but them ribs, them some skinny ribs, and I'm pretty sure with my punching power, I should be able to crack a rib come fight night. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what everybody's got a game plan till they get hit. Mike Tyson, the Iron Mike, you know, and we're gonna see how he stands up when he, you know, feels the power that I'm gonna be bringing into the ring. And, you know, someone's hitting the canvas. It's not a 12-round fight. Don't bet on the 12 rounds, people. It's a bet. Don't bet on the 12 rounds. All right. If it hits round 11, I'll just end the fight. I'll just walk to the corner. Damn it, he made it to round 11. It's over. It's over. This is not a 12-round fight, people. I promise you, it's not. Can't be.
There you go. Listen, man, you know I love you, my brother. I appreciate you doing this. Look, the last time we back, my brother, and so is one-time Keith Thurman. I wish you all the luck. I can't wait to see you in Vegas and doing that fight. And listen, man, as you always say, it only takes one time. It only takes one time. And that's our guy, Keith Thurman. That's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, like one time Keith Thurman. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again.